everybody? Welcome to the Gunner's Voice podcast. I've got a debutant on the show today. We've got Danno, guys, who's obviously been a big supporter of the channel so far. Obviously reviewing the game that we just watched now. Chelsea won, Arsenal won. Danno, just your thoughts on the game, brother.
I think well, thanks for having me on.
Welcome.
Yeah. The first half, I think we were quite poor. We were second best. But I think the first half, I'd say maybe a 10 minutes well from Chelsea. The rest, I think we were very dominant. And I think the goal that Chelsea scored was very much against the run of play. But there was no one closing him down before he scored. Yeah, and I think in terms of just having a target man, we don't have because you saw Havertz dropping him all the time because he needed to get the ball. But it's very frustrating the fact that when you look at the bench and you see someone like Marino come on for Rice, it doesn't inspire confidence in me as an Arsenal fan thinking, okay, this guy, Trossard is clutch.
Yeah, sure.
But with Marino, it's like he had some good, neat, tidy passes, but he wasn't that penetrative.
In terms of something you want from a sub. Look, in my opinion, I think Marino did change the game slightly, but I have to agree with you. He doesn't give you that confidence. Like if this guy's in the field, something's going to change. And I think with Trossard, I think the only frustrating thing from my perspective is that it's just the finishing. Just looks a bit off, but I think that's a team thing. I don't think anyone looks super lethal. Okay, and I guess that comes with form as well. Same question I posed today. Did you see enough from the boys today that makes you think that we can turn this run around and after international break we can get a result more in our favour?
I think the issue is we now have to round rivals. Liverpool are now 9 points ahead. That means a 10-point swing, assuming that we don't drop all points. So it's even draws. And I think we've got Sporting coming up after the international break, and United at home, and even Forest when we come back. I mean, they're no pushovers. They lost today, but
they always be after the game. 100%.
But I'd say a standout player for me would be, I think Odegaard was anonymous, but he has to get much better. But I think Timber played well. He carried the ball a lot. He got some good tackles in. Partey also played decently until he gave sloppy balls away at the end. But I expected a loss. I expected a 2-1 or a 2-0 loss. So I think, I wouldn't say pleasantly surprised because we didn't win it. But it went according a lot the way that I thought it was going to go.
100%. Yeah. So do you think it's just Arsenal slowly regaining their confidence? Or do you think that Arsenal are actually maybe in a more of a sticky situation than what fans are actually seeing?
No, I think we'll come back. I think we'll definitely come back. But it's just worrying seeing the cohesion that we've seen in the last 2 seasons. We're keeping the ball slow and it's not really flowing, if that makes sense. Like there's no one passing through the lanes. And then you saw towards the end of the game, even at Newcastle and Inter, there's no one taking a run around the guy on the ball. Like they're very static, and you see Odegaard, he was telling people to move around. Yeah, and it seemed like we needed that voice. But we should still have a player or a squad and a system to be able to compensate or to deal with that. But yeah, to answer your question, I do think we're on the up. I think we'll come back, but it's still very frustrating in terms of that. Especially, like I said, the goal didn't close them down. Other than that, they didn't really have a sniff. I don't think of any.
I think maybe in the first half, Palmer had that long shot, but I think Gusto with the header. But other than that, there weren't many.
And so many offsides.
Which I think is a bit better because, like you said, we actually haven't lately. Dane actually made a point of it yesterday. We haven't been breaking lines with any of our runs. So I think offsides for me is it's a way to show that we actually try to do something compared to not having any offsides. So, Danno, thank you so much for coming, brother.
Subscribe and like.
There we go, guys. So obviously, as Danno, guys, making his Gunner's Voice debut. Obviously, guys, like Danno says, please don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button.